All right, everybody. Happy 13th of January. We are very fortunate today from the lovely state of Arizona in our Northwest office, Mr. Drew Trenhaile. Drew, you have to hit *6 on your phone to unmute yourself. Hit *6 and then we can hear you. *6, please.
Okay. Did that work?
There you are. There you are, my man.
Right.
All right, Drew. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for taking your time out today. Really appreciate it. Tell us a little about yourself, how long you've been in the business, all that good stuff, please.
Okay. So I've been doing real estate since 2018. So it's been about 6.5 years. I can't believe it's been that long. It's crazy. But a little bit about me. I'm born and raised in Arizona. So I grew up in Chandler and then moved to the West Valley. I played baseball growing up. You know, most of my family is here in Arizona, so I'm very close with my family. My mom was a nurse. My dad was a taxidermist growing up. My first job was I worked at the Quiznos sandwich shop. I don't know if you remember Quiznos.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So yeah, I worked there, and then I graduated high school over there in Surprise, and then I got a job at a bakery, and it was just me. I was a young guy, and then there was a bunch of older women that worked there. So that was they just have me lift the flour bags and do all the heavy lifting for them.
These are all the guy stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and then from there I worked at a sporting goods store, you know, like a retail job, and you know, these are just entry level like retail positions. And then I worked at a vitamin store where I sold vitamins, you know, like a GNC.
Right.
And then I became manager of that small store and tried to work my way up there. And then they actually filed. So this was in 2017 or 18. The company that I was working for at the time, they filed bankruptcy. And
you decided, so, I'm going to work on my own.
Right, yeah. So they filed bankruptcy and closed down most of the stores. I think they had one left in Arizona. But, and so for the first time in my whole life, I was like, oh, wow, I'm going to be jobless. And so that's kind of what gave me the courage to get my real estate license and to start real estate.
Yeah. Well, awesome. So you decided to take control, and you don't have to worry about getting fired, unless you want to fire yourself if you're an independent contractor, right?
Yeah, sometimes you do want to fire yourself, but no.
Exactly. And then last year you finished number one in your office, didn't you?
I think I did for 23.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. When I say because we haven't come up with the stats yet for 2024, but 2023 you were number one. So tell us about about the progression. So you got your license 2018, and tell us about your progression to going from there. Getting that situation where your company went bankrupt and then you got your license, and then by 2023 you're number one in your office, which is pretty awesome. And you got some good agents in your office too, individual agents too. So that's a great trek from where you were, to where you currently are. Tell us about that progression, please.
Yeah. So I got my license, and like every job that I was ever at, they always have like sales metrics, so it's, even if it's a retail job, they want you to, like customer service metrics and sales stuff where they want you to sell something, or they want you to sell a credit card or whatever it is. And and I was always kind of like, I would always end up doing really well and being like one of the top salespeople in whatever job I was at. And so everyone, like my family, my friends, everybody kind of always told me that I should sell real estate. And It's something that I had wanted to do for a long time. And, I think it's just making that jump, that leap, that to have the courage to do that. And so I did. And then, Berkshire Hathaway is the only company that I've ever worked for in real estate. So as soon as I got my license, I interviewed all the companies, and I went with Berkshire, the same office in Peoria. And I've been there ever since, and I've never left. I've never, but the progression. So, what helped me was there's a lot of really good people in my office. So even still, I feel like I'm like the new guy. I know I'm not, but, a lot of people in my office
good attitude.
have been doing it. Yeah. Like a lot of people in my office have been doing it for a long time. So like Mark Jones, I think he's like 15, 20 years in now. So as soon as I came into that office, basically I was surrounded by a bunch of really great agents that were successful and have been doing it for so long. And I was really able to learn a lot from them and from, people like you. And, I did training with you when I first started up until now.
Yeah.
And, and my manager, Brandon, is great. But Stan is awesome. Anyway, so I just learned a lot of good people from them. Like, when I first came into the office, the number one person was Mark, and that was kind of like my goal was to go talk to him and learn from him, and I did. So the progression is kind of just like, all right, I got my license. Now what do I do? Right. And so I started doing open houses and prospecting and door knocking and calling all my people. And
I went door knocking with you once. Remember that? That was a lot. That was probably about 6 years ago, I think. At least 5.
Yeah, I remember that. That was fun. We should do stuff like that more often.
Was that your first time out door knocking?
Was it my first time door knocking?
Yeah, when we went out that day. I can't remember.
No,
it wasn't your first time. Okay.
No. You'll have to excuse my voice. I'm sick, so I'm trying to keep it together here. So if I sound a little raspy.
You sound good. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'd been door knocking before. So.
Okay. So you started right out of the gate door knocking and prospecting and making phone calls, and you're kind of like you'll go on 30, 60-day runs of doing an open house every day too. You mix it up good, but I think open houses is your primary way of doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I like open houses because anything that, for me anyways, anything that gets me up and moving and out and talking to people, that's kind of what helps me. So it's like if I have an open house set up, that's like a commitment of time to be somewhere and to be working. And it's not that you can't do that with other things, but I like it because, like you always say, it's a retail store that you can work at while you're there. So even if nobody comes in the open house, you're up, you're working, you're moving, and it's kind of like action creates action kind of thing. So
I agree 100%.
Yeah, I like open houses, and I think probably because I used to work retail jobs, that kind of comes really naturally to me because, you know, when you're working at a retail job, that's what you are. You're standing in a store, and then people walk in, and you engage with them. You start a conversation. You connect with them, and so that's probably why I like it.
Well, and like you said, you know, being a retail store, you can be there. The thing that makes it even better is that you're having, you know, you're open to the public. People can come in and see it, which is what you want. You want live customers and clients, but you also can be on the phone, making a few phone calls, doing some lead follow-up when you don't have people there. So that's why I say if you do it right, it's a really good place to be.
Yeah. It's like scheduling yourself for a shift of real estate.
Right.
So it's like, you know, we should work, you know, all day, every day, and we should treat every day from 9 to 5 or whatever as a shift. But, you know, I think being out there when people walk in, and also I'm better in person, you know, so
yeah,
I think that's why I prefer door knocking and open houses, because when I'm in person, I can engage with you and communicate with you in a way that's harder to when it's just your voice, you know?
Right. No doubt. Good. Well, good. So give us a little okay, so, you know, you had a very good 2023, you had a great 2024. Tell us about your 2025. What's your goal this year? What would you like to do, and how are you going to do it?
Yeah. So, so as far as my career goes, 2023 has been my best year in sales so far. Mm-hmm. Last year in 2024 was good, but my goal for a couple of years now has been 10 million in sales volume.
Right.
And excuse me.
No problem.
And I think I did like a little over 7 million in volume, and so I'm getting closer, but I haven't quite reached it yet. So I think 10 million in sales volume, and then to make President Circle. So 20 transactions, 10 million in President Circle in 2025 is my goal.
Right. Just so everybody knows, President Circle is a gross income of $185,000 or more, and you'd probably have to do what? About 30 transactions, at least 25 to get there, right?
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said there.
Yeah, I think you have to be close to 30 transactions in order to do that, right? 185 gross commissions and probably about 30 transactions, at least 25 anyway.
You know, not even. I think it depends on the price point.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I was really close in 23. I just missed it. I think very close. And
okay, cool.
And I only had 12 transactions.
12, yeah. So your average sale price has got to be over $500,000, and I was using $500,000 at 10 million is 20. Plus I threw a few extra on this. So yeah, probably 18, 20 transactions gets you to that 185 gross commission in, which is great. So that's the President's Circle. Just so Honor Society 75, Leading Edge is 120, and then it jumps to President's Circle at 185. And then it goes right to 280 for chairman. So that would put you right in the middle of the awards with plenty of room to grow.
I know. Yeah. No, I like those awards. I just like that it kind of gives you a threshold to shoot for, like a new level to try and reach.
Absolutely. And that's a great way to look at it, too. It's exactly what it is. It's there for things to shoot for. You cheer everybody else on, but you have your own goals in getting there, too. So, so go ahead.
Yeah, well, especially I guess we have a couple minutes for me to talk about this, which is
yeah, go ahead.
Before I got into real estate, and this is something I always end up talking about whenever I talk to newer agents that come into our office, which is, like being around people that are successful really like helps you in so many ways. Because before I got into real estate, I don't think I really knew many people in my life or in my circle that were, like had that level of success in an industry and anything really. Yeah. And so when I'm in an office surrounded by all these people that are doing great things, that, like you said, chairman's circle and president's circle and all that stuff, it's like, it's all around you. Like, you're seeing everybody around you do it, and you're like, oh, hey, maybe this is possible. Maybe I could do this too. And the more time that I spent around all these great people in my office, the more I felt like, hey, if they can do it, maybe I can do it too. Right.
That's great. Yeah, and you shared with me, not to share too much, but you shared with me that there was a time in your life you never even thought you could make over six figures, and now you've made not only six figures, but you're really pressing the envelope to get to 200,000 gross income. So that's been a huge accomplishment. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it is. It's huge. It's a big deal for me, and so everybody's different, but real estate has been such a blessing for me, and so I just feel really lucky and grateful that I found it, and that I have great people all around me to help me. Yeah,
and you gave yourself that wonderful gift. You got that beautiful watch, right? Those are things that you can do when you're working hard. Let's face it, Drew. I mean, you're in a, look, I mean, what is it? I think 12 or 13% of the country makes 100,000 or more, and I think it gets down to about 6% when you get to 200 or more. So those are great accomplishments, and giving yourself a little, the awards, it's something to shoot for, or giving yourself some rewards, when you get there too. So that's all good stuff. You're following the system, Drew. You're doing it in your own unique way, but you're setting goals, having a plan, following a schedule, being disciplined. So that's got to feel rewarding when you achieve those.
It really is. Yeah. We do the mastermind once a month, and in the Scottsdale office. And one of the things that we did was we write down our goals every year. So every year I write down what I want to accomplish, and then we did vision boards. I don't know if you've ever done vision boards before.
Yep.
Yeah.
So tell them what you do. Tell them about that.
Yeah. So you just have like a pin board, and you have all your goals of things you want to accomplish, like what's important to your life, and then you print out pictures of it and you put it on the board, and you can look at it every day while you're working, and to just remind you of what you want to accomplish. And I love it because, there was things when I first started in the business in 2018 that felt far away and impossible. And I, printed a picture out of it, and then here we are, and they've come true, and I've accomplished them, and now I can put new things up. And so one of the things that I put on this year was just health for me and my family and my parents. I'm very close with my family, and so that was one. As you get older, your goals kind of evolve, and what's important to you changes, and so
getting more and more healthy. I think that's critically important with someone, especially your age. Get that under wraps now, and then it becomes a lot easier for the rest of your life, because you're going to make good money. You can look at, you're in a business, dude. You could do it till you were 80, right? Not that you have to, but being able to is good. And if you just keep an eye on that health and the diet and the workout, which you've been doing very well, very good at. So congratulations. And I'm sure you're close with your family, and they've seen where you were versus where you are now. But I'm sure they're proud of you as well.
Yeah, thank you. I hope so. That's the goal. Yeah, so that's the vision board. I think everybody should do that. That would be
all right.
good.
Before we run out, no, I think you're right. Vision board. I did them for years. That's how I had Paris on there. I had Fiji on there, and so my vision board were about like accomplishments and travel. And if you see my social media, I always share that on there. So whatever turns you on, like you have a beautiful watch, and Curtis. His is the same thing. He's into watches. So is Jay. So whatever turns you on. But before we finish here, because we only have 6 minutes left, I wanted you to give them your top three. So you come out of the gate, you got into real estate, you've been doing extremely well. What are your top three things to be successful in this business, please?
Okay, so I would say number one is take action, work, prospect. I think get moving, whatever it takes to get you working towards your goals, not just thinking about it, but doing it. And then connect with your sphere, your circle. So your family, your friends, their coworkers, connect with all them. And then think long term. Don't think short term, just about, your next sale. Try to think about being someone's realtor for life.
I love that. Right. So take action, like whatever you're going to do, decide what you're going to do, take action, really focus on your sphere, building it. And, I'm going to say, make sure they're all in the VAC. They're getting drips from you as well. They're connected with you on social media, all that good stuff. And then I love what you said, think long term, especially a young guy like you, meaning that, it's going to take a little longer. That was part of my message this morning too. It takes a little longer, takes a little bit more money. You get a little frustrated, but that's all part of the process, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's part of the process. And, like I blinked and here I am 6.5 years later. It doesn't feel like that long, but I'm sure the next 6.5 years will go by quick as well. And I think the only way that you can really be super successful long-term in this business is to have those real, genuine relationships and connections with your clients long-term.
Right. Agreed. Long-term friends and family and the whole deal. And, you have to, you have to build your own tribe. You have your own, and today, that sphere of people that you work with, you can be very large because of social media, because of email and drip campaigns, even YouTube. I mean, you can have it so large, and because if we rely only on our friends, family, and sphere, our business will always be limited. So you got to be adding to it all the time, and you got to be like what you do around listings and sales, and go door knocking for your open houses and do videos and all that good stuff. Just be in action constantly.
Yes, yeah. Circling back to, you mentioned Curtis and Jay and all them. Curtis Mitchell in the Scottsdale office, huge shout out to him, because he was an agent that I really looked up to and learned a lot from, and he did those videos that you were talking about, and that's one thing that I did that helped me step my game up, was the listing videos, and I think it makes a big deal, a big impact. Oh,
it does. Yeah, it does. It does. Just staying consistent with them is critical. Like someone said to me this morning, I went from 100 followers to 1.8 over time now. How did that happen? I said, because you're consistent. When you're consistent, you're going to continue to grow because people find you interesting and the algorithm helps you. And, when you're consistent on, and you're giving good content, when people can see it, they like it. So it's the key right there. And you're always going to have friends and you're going to have people that don't like you. They unfriend you, they unfollow you. So what? Creates room for more people. Not everyone is going to, even though you're totally lovable, Drew, not everyone's going to love you. Not everyone's going to love me. It's just the way it is.
What? I'm shocked. I'm shocked to hear.
I know it, right? What?
No, yeah, the putting your face on video can be a scary thing sometimes, but if you just bite the bullet and do it, like you always talk about doing video, that's a great way for people to like get to know you on social media. So
right, sure is. And they'll use you, and they'll refer you, and they'll do all of those things.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. All right, Drew Trenhaile, just want to say thank you very much, my man. I really appreciate you even doing this a little under the weather. You sounded great, though, so you gave them really good content, really good stuff. We'll be blasting this all over the place, tagging you, all that good stuff, so it gets all over your social media as well, my man. I appreciate you taking your time out.
Thanks for having me, Rick.
My pleasure, Drew. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. We'll do this again next week. And once again, Drew, thanks a lot, my man. Everybody, have a great day.
All right, thanks.